Baba dan Nyonya dari Melaka, tempat sejarah. Dari dulu kala suka bersanggul, sanggul dua. Bila ku lihat hati berdebar dengan gayanya, sekali pandang hati terpikat, tak tentu rasa. Berkain batik, baju kebaya, jalan melenggang. Ku kenyit mata sambil bertanya, Nyonya kemana?
Tonight, I wish to talk about my hometown, my life, and what I went through since my early days, Melaka. This is the photograph of my parents, taken on 27 January 1937. It's a wedding of traditional costumes. Regret there's no color. And the little girl there is my auntie. Her name is Amy Sit. This wedding lasted 12 days with lots and lots of ceremonies. The costumes are very heavy and very uncomfortable in the heat of Malaysia. And underneath my mother's gown, there are layers and layers of lace, and also a bamboo woven underwear to keep cool. My father said that he suffered a lot because he was very, very thirsty for beer. The ceremony of a Nyonya wedding would start with hair combing, to comb the hair and putting on makeup the day before. And also there's a little ceremony where a little boy will roll across the wedding bed. The reason of it is that they are the rolling over the bed might produce a male boy. I've been doing that for some time. Once on my neighbor's daughter's wedding, I rolled on the bed. I got a big ang pao for that. But hey presto, after 9 months, they didn't get a boy, they got a girl. I should have done the rock and roll instead, I think. My mother told me that your father said that the Nyonya wedding is so elaborate and very tired that anyone who goes to this wedding won't get married again. After the 4th day, my mother told me, your dad disappeared, couldn't be found. And the grandfather sent a search party all over Heron Street to look for your father. Eventually the search party found my father having a beer party with the best man, Mr. Chi Hock Chiang, who is Halina's uncle, and a few of his tennis friends. This is another photo of my parents in Western dress. The picture was taken by a very famous Japanese photographer known as Ishii. He takes pictures of all the Baba homes, Baba families at the weddings and functions. And he was a very, very good photographer, as you can see. In the daytime, he's a professional photographer. Otherwise, he was a spy. He was in Malaysia well before the Japanese came, and he photographed every building, every street corner. And when the Japanese invaded Melaka in 1942, the Japanese knew every building and every nook and corner of the town. But Ishii's photographs are indeed excellent. This is an older wedding of an aunt of mine, and you see the costumes are a bit old-fashioned. Whereas my mother's wedding, they had a lot of Malay influences in the headgear, the wear, and the way they conduct the wedding. This is a very, very old wedding picture. Now, the very famous street in Malacca is Hiran Street. It is very, very narrow, and you can see that the buildings are very, very small and very, very narrow in the front. This is my grandfather, Ee Kong Guan. He was a merchant, a tapioca planter, and a rubber planter. It was through his rubber plantations that he grew very rich. He's descended from a very prominent Singapore businessman called Tan Chun Bok. Tan Chun Bok was the owner of the state steamship company, which had many ships going up and down through Southeast Asia. Tan Chun Bok is also the grandfather of Tan Cheng Lok, who together with Tunku Abdurrahman negotiated with the British for the independence of Malaysia. So Tan Cheng Lok was my grandfather's cousin. And another cousin of my grandfather is Dr. Goh Keng Swee, who was the Singapore Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense. So they were all cousins. Yeah. And I'm very glad to say that Tan Cheng Lok's daughter, Agnes Tan, and the sister Alice, who has both died, had allowed me a part of the legacy to support my book and this function. Mr. Kwa Cheng Hock will explain that later. This is my grandfather in his suit. I think he got it from Savile Row, London, when he went to London to attend King George VI's coronation on 12th May 1937. My grandfather was nominated by the British government as the representative of the Peranakan community in Melaka. And this is my grandmother, Chan Gyo Im. She was the daughter of Chan Se Peng, a very wealthy landowner in Melaka, related to Kaylin. Kaylin's grandmother, a great-grandmother, and my grandmother were sisters. And you can notice that my grandmother looks a bit Malay. And I believe she was a very, very nice lady. But I've never known her or met her because she died early. She was the third wife of my grandfather. The first and second wife died, and she also died, and in turn, my grandfather married the fourth wife. And all four wives of my grandfather had the surname Chan. I don't know whether they are related to Chanajit. This is the way the Nyonya dressed in olden days. This is called baju kurong, or in Penang they call tonsa. The Chinese ladies or the Peranakan ladies will be wearing this rather than sarong kebaya. Sarong kebaya, like what the ladies are wearing tonight, is a new innovation around 1940s or 1950. But in olden days, they had these long dresses. Now, I would like to mention a bit, what is a Peranakan? Peranakan means local born, locally born. And there are various types of Peranakans: the Chinese, the Indians, and the Portuguese, and also the Arabs. They all were descendants of traders who came to Melaka or places further away like Palembang. I think the Peranakan culture started around Palembang, which is in Sumatra, across from Melaka, in the Straits of Melaka. There was Iskandar Shah, who was the prince of Palembang, who ran away with 1,000 followers to Singapore and set up Temasek. Those from Singapore here would know what is Temasek. It was the Hindu kingdom of Singapore, controlled by Majapahit, which are the Javanese Hindus. And at that time, before Melaka was founded by the Malays, the whole of Southeast Asia was controlled by the Indians, who had a Sri Pagan empire. And I think the early Peranakan, the Chitis, may have been descendants from Indian traders. Unfortunately, Iskandar Shah fell foul with the rulers of Singapura, as it was called then. He was accused of murdering the chieftain. And then the king of Siam, who was controlling that area, chased Iskandar Shah, who ran away up north to Muar. They stopped at Muar River and settled down for a while. And later they moved up northwards towards Melaka. They went to stay in a place called Bamban. And later, Iskandar Shah was sleeping under the Melaka tree, saw a little mouse deer. A mouse deer is no bigger than a terrier dog, having a fight with his hunting dog. And he said, this must be a lucky place that a mouse here can chase my dog. So hence, Melaka was founded in 1383. And later, lots and lots of traders congregated in Melaka as a very fine city for trade. And Malacca became very, very famous. And soon more and more Chinese traders came to Malacca. And they would come to Malacca, do their business, and wait for the monsoon winds to blow their junks back to China. And to wait for the monsoon winds, it might take about 6 months. And while waiting the 6 months, they get bored. And there are lots of Malay women from Sumatra around, very, very manja. And a lot of them started to marry Malay girls and raise a family in Malacca. And this is my grandfather with his fourth wife. I knew this grandmother when I was a boy. And this time, my grandfather didn't outlive this fourth wife. This is how the Babas used to dress in olden days. The Chinese baju and Western suits. And the Peranakans are very, very anglicized. They like to copy the Europeans and deal with the Europeans. This is my father as a barrister. At the age of 13, he was sent to England to school, to go to school there. He went to Brighton College, and he was registered as a pupil on 23rd September 1923. I visited Brighton College about 10 years ago and saw the registered college and saw that date. My father was a man of character and high integrity and principles. Everything, he believed that integrity cannot be compromised, and he practiced his law always that way, always doing things with integrity. He was although he lived in England for 20 years, he didn't come back as an Englishman, except that he spoke like an Englishman. But he was very conscious of the Peranakan culture, all the rituals, and above all, filial piety, and also he was very conscious of ancestral worship, to remember your ancestors and keep the family name proud and always do the right thing. While in England, my father was a flatmate of Tunku Abdul Rahman. They lived together, flatted together as students. Tunku was a very jolly fellow. It took a long, long time to pass his law finals until he went to a private tutor called Gerald Hart, who pushed the Tunku to study. When I studied law, my father sent me to the same private tutor, Gerald Hart. He was a taskmaster. He make you copy 20 pages of the textbook, word for word, every day. And that's how he teaches you how to draft documents in good English. And Tunku enjoyed my father's fellowship, and she would invariably always send my father to the butcher, Yulin. I would love to have an English breakfast for a change. And I met the Tunku years later when he came to support me on Bukit China. he wrote an article in the Star paper to support me. And another politician who supported me was Dr. Tan Chi Kun. I believe Tan Chi Kun's daughter is here with us tonight. Oh, that's me as a young man. That was in 1972, I think. Yeah. My father, at the age of 18, told me that we flew in this antique-looking aeroplane from London to Paris, together with his classmate, Ee Tiang Heng from Ipoh. My father told me that this plane was made of wood and canvas, and the seats were made of rattan. It was 1928. And this is my family house in Melaka, 108 or 110 Hiran Street. You can see that it is adorned for Chinese New Year. And I think there are some stems of sugar cane in the front door. My family are Hokkiens from South China. And the history is that the Cantonese from Canton were at war with the Hokkiens. And one Chinese New Year, the Cantonese chased the Hokkiens and who ran away to a sugarcane plantation and they hid there, and they were saved. So the Hokkiens will always remember to have a sugarcane outside their front door during Chinese New Year. I'm not sure whether this practice is done today. This is a family photo just before my father sailed to England. It was taken around 1923. And great-grandmother is there wearing her baju kurung. And you can see that the Straits-born or Baba were very anglicized and they like to wear suits. And this is a view of my family home. This is the lounge, and you can see the second room at the back where the family altar is. And you can see some Chinese lanterns there. There is a picture of me in a Chinese school. I am the little boy, third from left, sitting down there. My father thought that I should go to a Chinese school first and learn to speak Chinese so that I won't be apart from the other Chinese boys who can't speak English. And I think it was a wise move. This is a picture of the Chinese tennis club in Melaka. I don't think any one of them looked like Nadal or Djokovic. Tennis was a very popular sport amongst the Peranakan men, as it was the top sport because they were not allowed to play golf because the golf course is only reserved for the Europeans. And we had a golf course in Melaka for the Europeans, out of bounds by the Asians. But the caddies were little Malay boys. And one of the caddies happened to be Ghaffar Baba, our Deputy Prime Minister. he was a boy caring for the Europeans, and Gapa Baba said that one day I will play golf and own a golf course. And he designed the Ayakuro Country Club in Melaka and was the president of a golf club. My family knew Encik Gapa Baba well because my grandfather would always give him a lift to town if he sees Gapa Baba waiting for the bus by the roadside. He was a cikgu before he became an UMNO president. This is an interesting photograph. It's not very clear, but this is a photograph of the Baba Playboy Club in Melaka. You see the Baba there, so well dressed with their fine suits, their polished Italian shoes, their hats. And the girls behind are the hostesses of this Baba Club. The club is called Ole Sayang Club. Ole Sayang Club. I don't know what it means in Malay. It means you can love me, I think. And my grandfather gave me this picture before he died and said, Heng, you keep this, but don't tell your mother that I was a member of the club. This is another club, another men's club. This, unfortunately, we don't have the title. It was the Malaka Chinese Literary Club. I don't know what literary means for them because there are no books inside the clubhouse. The clubhouse was a billiard saloon for the Babas to play billiards, and they would tell their wives to say that we are going to the literary club for activity. This is my great-great-great-grand-uncle, Tan Jiak Kim. And those from Singapore will know about Tan Jiak Kim Road, Tan Kim Seng Road. And Tan Jiak Kim was the grandson of Tan Kim Seng. He are all prosperous merchants when Singapore grew from nothing. And he was so rich that he donated a fighter plane to the British government for the First World War. This is Tan Kim Seng, Jiak Kim's father, who is my great-great-great-great-grandfather on my mother's side. He was a merchant in Singapore after Raffles founded Singapore in 1840, and he grew rich as a merchant. He was well known for donating the Singapore Water Works. I think he donated $13,000, but at that time it might was quite a lot. And the British had a fountain in his memory at the Esplanade in Singapore. The fountain is still there. And Tan Jiak Kim also built the Kavanagh Bridge in Singapore, and he had a road named after him, Tan Kim Seng Road. And those from Singapore will know where Tan Kim Seng Road there is, River Valley Road. He was a philanthropist. He gave a lot of donations to hospitals, the Tan Tok Seng Hospital for the Poor. He set up Chinese schools and donated a lot of money towards the poor and the needy. He's a real philanthropist. This is a scene of the Tan Kim Seng house in Melaka, where our family house is. These are some furniture in the old house. The house was built maybe around 1820 or thereabouts. And this is the staircase of the family house. And this is the carved doors between room to room. And this is the family altar of the Tan Kim Seng house. The Chinese practice ancestral worship. You see, there are lots of plugs, wooden plugs there, to remember your ancestors. And we have prayers on this altar with food and fruits. There are 8 types of dishes. And this is another scene of the family altar. You can see all the family tablets there, each one representing a deceased ancestor. They are called Sinchi. The Second World War was a sad time for Malaysians and Singaporeans. And this is a photo of soldiers, of volunteers of the Melaka Volunteer Force. In this picture, Kaylin's grandfather can be seen. Kaylin's grandfather. Kaylin's grandfather, unfortunately, was sent to Singapore, and he was machine gunned and died in a war. And this is a picture of a Japanese lady. She was a spy. And during the Second World War, I was imprisoned by the Japanese to be executed because my grandfather had donated money towards the Chinese Red Cross for the massacre of Nanjing. She knew my mother before the war, and she was a spy, and she became the mistress or partner of British officers. But when I was imprisoned, she helped for me to escape, my family to escape. And during the war, I had a Japanese soldier who came and to take care of me. And even though there's war, but there are still some kindness. These are the Dutch buildings in Melaka. They were all painted red. I believe that when the Dutch had these buildings, they were all painted white. But because some of the Indians and the Bibik used to chew this bitter nut and spit them on the wall, the British decided to paint them all red. And this clock tower was donated by my great-granduncle to the people of Melaka. And with this, I say goodbye to Melaka. I think I have tried to cover the field to give you a glimpse of what the Peranakan families were in olden days. And I thank you for your attention.
Baba dan Nyonya dari Melaka suka bersanggul, sanggul dua. Bila kulihat hati berdebar dengan gayanya, sekali pandang hati terpikat, tak tentu rasa. Berkain batik, baju kebaya, jalan melenggang. Ku kenyit mata sambil bertanya, nyonya kemana? Senang berkawan, tak kira bangsa, tua dan muda. Bila berpantun, suka jenaka, baba Melaka. Baba dan nyonya dari Melaka, tempat sejarah. Dari dulu kala suka bersanggul, sanggul dua. Bila kulihat hati berdebar dengan gayanya, sekali pandang hati terpikat, tak tentu rasa. Berkata